Probably one of the most underrated tools and one of my favorite tools, the Richard or Richard pry bar. You can get this at Home Depot for like $10. And yeah, this is an older one I've had. And I reach for this thing a lot throughout the day. There's so much you can do with this. And I've never seen one of these snap. And I've pried on some serious things with it, like steel beams, all kinds of things with it. But one thing it's most known for is the scraper. And yeah, it's scraping caulking off of door jambs, silicone. But yeah, and the pry feature, obviously. So here's a little tip or trick that you can do. This is my newer one. See how I can't get into those spots? Well, if you grind down, that's my older one, you can grind down the blade and it will get into tighter spots, like when you're ripping old trim off the walls. And leverage, I've even used it like this to lift up a bottom sheet of drywall off the floor. And just to show when you're shimming into tight spaces. Look at that. And this is brilliant. This little nail puller. I use this all the time. Quick and easy. Yeah, I reach for this thing a lot throughout the day. Probably one of my favorite tools.